Evan stayed frozen on the bedroom floor long after the lock clicked open at the end of the hallway, its weight pressing into the floorboard so hard the house groaned in response. The sound came closer in slow, measured pulls, stopping every few seconds like it was listening for Evan's breathing. He clamped a hand over his mouth and forced himself to stay quiet, his heart pounding so loudly he was sure it could hear it. The bedroom door rattled gently as if tested by curious fingers. Then the handle stopped moving, replaced by a soft, dragging sound passing by. Evan waited until the sound faded before crawling to the window, but when he pulled the curtain aside, the view outside had changed. The street was gone, replaced by endless darkness and a faint reflection of the hallway behind him instead of the glass. His reflection stared back with wide eyes, and when Evan moved, it didn't follow. It lifted its hand slowly and pressed it against the glass from the other side. Evan stumbled back and nearly screamed. The whisper returned, closer than ever, telling him the house was built from endings, telling him everyone inside was already home. Evan grabbed a lamp and smashed it against the wall, the crash echoing through the house. The lights flickered back on suddenly, and the hallway outside his room looked longer than before. Stretching deeper into shadow, Evan ran, barefoot, ignoring the cold floor biting into his skin. He flew down the stairs and into the living room, where the white sheets had fallen off the furniture, revealing shapes underneath that looked wrong. The front door stood right where it should be, and Evan rushed toward it, twisting the handle hard, but the door wouldn't move. It felt fused to the frame like it had grown there. Pounding on it only made the house answer back with a deep, echoing thud from the walls. Evan turned and saw the hallway changing again, the walls narrowing, bending inward like ribs closing around a chest. The dragging sound returned, louder now, accompanied by wet breathing and a faint sound like bones rubbing together. Evan ran toward the kitchen and nearly slipped on the floor, which was slick now, dark stains spreading slowly across the tiles. He slid behind the counter and grabbed a knife, his hands shaking so badly he almost dropped it. The radio on the counter turned on by itself, crackling before the same calm voice filled the room, telling him struggle only made it worse, telling him the house needed time to learn him. Evan shouted that he didn't belong there, and the voice laughed softly, saying none of them ever did. The refrigerator door creaked open, and instead of shelves, it showed a narrow hallway packed tight with people standing shoulder to shoulder, all facing away, their backs pressed together like they were holding the walls apart. One of them turned its head slowly, and Evan saw it had his face, older and cracked, its mouth opening silently in warning. Evan slammed the fridge shut and ran again, the dragging sound now right behind him, close enough that the air turned icy. He felt fingers brush his ankle, burning cold, and he kicked wildly, breaking free and diving into the stairwell. The stairs twisted under his feet, stretching longer with every step, and when he reached the top, he wasn't in the bedroom hallway anymore, but standing in front of the locked door at the end of the house, the one he had been warned about. It stood open now, blackness spilling out like smoke. The whisper begged him to come inside, promising peace, promising rest, promising he wouldn't feel fear ever again. Evan backed away, but the hallway behind him had sealed shut. The house had guided him here. He realized then that it always would. The room beyond the door pulsed faintly, like a slow heartbeat, and inside he could hear voices layered together, hundreds of them, breathing, waiting. Evan screamed and slammed the door shut, throwing his weight against it. The door shook violently as something on the other side pushed back. The house screamed too, a sound so deep and loud it made his vision blur. Cracks raced along the walls and ceiling, dust raining down. The pressure suddenly stopped. Evan collapsed to the floor, sobbing, believing for a moment that he had won. But then the whisper returned softly, almost kindly, telling him this was only the first night, telling him the house always let them fight at first, because fear tasted better when it had hope mixed in. And as the lights dimmed and the floor beneath him warmed like a living thing, Evan understood the house wasn't trying to kill him quickly. It was trying to keep him forever.